Question number 1, part A, evaluate this expression. So first we solve the bracket part, which gives us 3.45 times 0.2. For multiplication, simply first ignore the decimals. 345 times 2 is 690. Now after decimals we have three numbers, so write 690 and place decimal before three numbers. So answer is 0.69. Part B, evaluate this expression. So change into mixed form first. 4 over 3 minus 4 over 5, change into improper fraction. Take LCM. 4 times 5 is 20 minus 3 times 4 is 12. The answer is 8 over 15. Question number 2. Complete this description. A rectangle has rotational symmetry of order 2 because when you rotate it 160 degrees twice, you'll get this original figures back. So the answer is 2. And how many lines of symmetry? Line of symmetry is the line when you overlap the rectangle on this line. This part should exactly fall on this part. So this is the first line of symmetry and this is the second line of symmetry, because when I bend the page or this rectangle over this line, this page will overlap on this part of the page. This is not the line of symmetry of a rectangle and this is not the line of symmetry of a rectangle. Remember that. So 2 lines of symmetry. Shade 4 more small squares in the shape below to make a pattern that with rotational symmetry of order 4. So this pattern needs to be copied here. So this triangle, this square needs to be shaded. Here we already have that pattern, and again here we need to have this pattern again. So when we'll shade, we'll need to shade this part to copy that pattern here. This needs to be shaded, this needs to be shaded, and inside this pattern needs to be copied here and here. Now if you can't tell that directly by looking at the figure, what you can do is simply put a tracing paper on top of this figure and trace this figure roughly and very quickly, because we don't have a lot of time to spend on a question that's just for 1 mark. So roughly you sketch this on the tracing paper and shade the colored squares. Next, the order of rotational symmetry is 4. Now flip the tracing paper and change its orientation. Bring this arrow over here to here. I'm asking you to rotate the page to 90 degrees. So once you've rotated this shape, if you see anything shaded on the tracing paper but not shaded at the back, shade those squares. Similarly, give it another 90-degree rotation. Again, if you see some squares shaded on the tracing paper but not at the back, shade those, and again give it a final 90-degree rotation and shade those squares that are shaded on the tracing paper but not at the back. When you do that, you'll see that you're getting these 4 triangles, these 4 squares shaded. Question 3. It is given that $100 is equivalent to 56 pounds. Use this information to draw a conversion graph between pounds and dollars on the grid below. So we know 0 pounds or $0 will give us 0 pounds, and we also know that $100 will give us 56 pounds. I've written 100 first because the x-axis shows dollar sign. Alright, so mark these 2 coordinates 0, 0 and 100, and this was 100 comma 56. So 100 comma 56 will be somewhere 56 will be 2 boxes below 60. So roughly, I can't really tell on this screen because it's zoomed out, but let's say roughly this is 100 comma 56. So Join this should be 100, comma 56. Now join these two lines, join these 2 points with the scale, and you'll have answer for part A. Part B, use your graph to convert $64 to pounds. So now mark $64, point out $64 here. So one box is 4 units, $4, so $64 is somewhere over here, and then read this value, whatever that is. I was getting 36 pounds. Use a proper scale and see, you'll get 36 pounds as well. Question number 4. Fraction is half, then decimal is 0.5, and percentage is 50% because we're multiplying this with 100. So fraction is 3 over 20, change 3 over 20 to decimals. So a quick way of doing it is change the denominator into 100, so times 5 times 5, this becomes 15 over 100, which is 0.15. Now change this into percentage, so times 100, which gives us 15%. Next, we have to change this percentage to decimals, so we'll divide by 100, so we get 0.625. Next, we have to change this into into fraction, so 62.5 over 100, change this into 62.5 over 100. Now multiply it with 10, and multiply numerator and denominator by 10 and 10 to get rid of the decimal. We get 625 over 1000. When you cancel the numerator and denominator by the same number, keep dividing it with the same number, in the end you'll get 5 over 8. Question number 5. Find the difference between the maximum and minimum temperature on 1st March. So the difference will be 4 minus 5, which is 9 degrees. The minimum temperature T degrees on 1st February was 13 degree than the minimum temperature on 1st March, which means we have to subtract 13 from minus 5. So minus 5 minus 13 gives us minus 18. 6a, express 96 as the product of prime factors. So divided with 2 and we get 48, divide with 2 we get 24, divide with 2 we get 12, 2 6, 2 3, 3 1. So we have 2 power 5 times 3. Alright, clearing the screen. 24 is a common factor of 96 and integer n. Given that n is less than 96, find the largest possible value of n. Alright, now 24 is also a factor of n. So let's write the table of 24. That will be 24, then 48, then 72 and 96. So we got this number 96. Now let's read the question again. 24 is a common factor of 96 and the integer n. Given that n is less than 96, find the largest possible value of n. So this is the largest possible value of n, 72. Because it's smaller than 96 but still larger than the other options. Part A, work out the time difference between Dubai and Mumbai. So the local time in Dubai is 03:30 when the flight takes off, and the flight duration is 3 hours 10 minutes. So let's add 3 hours 10 minutes to 3:30. We get 6:40, right? So this is the local time in Dubai when the flight arrives at Mumbai. So now the time in Mumbai corresponding to this time is 0810. Find the difference between these two times and you will find the difference between just find the difference between the two times to get the answer. So this will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, part B. Work out the local time in Mumbai when 16:10 flight arrives. So when 60 flight leaves Dubai at 16:10, and when it reaches Mumbai, the time in Dubai will be at 2 hours 55 minutes to this. So we will get 19:05. So this is the time in Dubai. Okay. And now what will be the corresponding time in Mumbai? Simply add 1 hour and 30 minutes to this. 30 minutes. Wait a second. 30 minutes to this time. So we get 20:35. Since the question is in 24 hours clock, preferably stick to this. Question number 8. Y is directly proportional to square of x when x is 100, that means, when x is 10, which means 10 squared is 100, y is 20. Find the value of y when x is 6. So this is 36. Directly proportional question, so cross multiply. If this were an inversely proportional question, we would have front multiplied. So for now, cross multiply. 20 times 36 is equals to y times 100. Make y the subject and you'll get 36 over 5, which is 7.2, or you may just write it in mixed form. 5 sevens are 35 and then 1 as remainder. Question 9. 50 students are asked what type of movies they like to watch. So we have total 50 students. 26 like comedy, 15 like both comedy and action. So this is the circle representing the set representing action. So 15 like both action and comedy, and 26 liked comedy. So 26 minus 15 is 11. 11 students like only comedy. 15 students like both comedy and action. 8 like neither action nor comedy. Use a Venn diagram, otherwise find the number of students who like action but not comedy. So this region is being asked, number of people in this region. So let's call it X. Now the sum of all these should be 50. So X will come out to be 16. Solve the simultaneous equations. It's a very easy question because when you add these, x will get eliminated. 10x is equals to 5. So x is equals to 2. Put x back in the value of x back in equation 1, and we get y is equals to 1 minus 12. Sorry, x was half, not 2. X is half. So put half in the first equation and we get y is equals to 1 minus 3, which is y is equals to minus 2. Question 11, part A. Simplify this. So 5 over 15 becomes 1 over 3. X power 7 over x power 3 becomes x power 4, because you subtract 7 minus 3, which is 4. And then y power 1 over y power 4 becomes y power cube in the denominator. So this is the answer for part 1. For part B, first we have a negative index. To make it positive, take reciprocal of the fraction inside. So v4 over 4t square. Now v power 4 times power half is v square. T power 2 times power half is t power 1, and power half means square root. So square root of 4 is 2. So this is the answer for part B. Question 12. The diagram below shows triangle ABC. Part A. On the diagram, construct the locus of points inside the triangles that are 3.5 centimeters from A. That means we need a circle of radius 3.5 centimeter around A. So make that using your geometrical instrument. And then part 2 says locus of points equidistant from AC and BC, which means we need an angle bisector on we need to make an angle bisector of angle C. So I hope you remember how we did that in class. You'll get a line somewhat like this. So if you don't remember how that was done, please Google how to make an angle bisector. So going to part B, on the diagram shade the region inside the triangle containing the points that are more than 3.5 centimeters from C, which means outside of this triangle, and also closer to AC than to BC. So lying more towards this region than towards the other half of the triangle. So the common region here will be this region. Shade this region. Question 13, part A. Write these values in order starting with the smallest. So 2 power 5 is 32, then we have 25, then we have 10, and then 27 power 0 is 1. So the smallest number is 27 power 0. Then we have cube root of 1000. Then we have 5 square, and then we have 2 power 5 for part A. For part B, 1. Write down one possible value of x that satisfies each of these inequalities. So to make this clearer, let's get rid of the square under root sign. For that, take square of all these numbers. We get 4, x and 9. So write any integer value between this range. So you may write 5, 6, 7 or 8. So I'm writing 5. Any value between 4 to 9 will do. And then in the next part, to make this clearer, take cube root of all these numbers. Cube root of 1 is minus 1 is still minus 1. Cube root of x cube is x, and cube root of 0 is still 0. So write any integer number between this range. So in fact, the question does not say write down an integer value, just say write down one possible value. So we can write minus 0.5 because that lies in this range. You may write minus 0.99 as well, minus 0.1 as well. Question 14, part A. The coordinates of midpoint of line AB is 1, 4. The length of the line AB is 10. If the gradient of AB is 0, find the coordinates of AB. So when the gradient is 0, that means the line is a horizontal line. Now its midpoint is 1, 2. This is A, this is B. So if this is the midpoint, length of this side will be 5 and length of this side will be 5. Okay, so what will be the coordinate of A? Go left from this coordinate, 5 units to the left. So the y-axis won't change. The x-axis will be, the point on the x-axis will be 1 minus 5, which is minus 4. And for this point again, move this point 5 units to the right. So this will be 6, 2. Part B. If the gradient of AB is 3 by 4, now it's a rising line. This is A, this is B, this is the midpoint 1, 2, and this length is 5 and this length is 5. Alright, so the gradient is 3 by 4. Find the coordinates of A and B. So this rise over run and this rise over run will now be 3 by 4 and 3 by 4. How do I know for sure that this is 3 by 4? It could also be 6 by 8, that simplifies to 3 by 4, but it can't be 6 by 8 because the hypotenuse is 5. When the hypotenuse is 5, we need such lengths over here that would satisfy the Pythagoras theorem. 3 square plus 4 square is 25 square, and 25, and under root 25 is 5. So the triangles I've made are correct, I've assumed are correct. So now from 1, 2, to find A, go 3 down. So going 3 down from 2, I'll get minus 1, and then go 4 left from 1. So 1 minus 4 will be minus 3. Similarly, to find B, first from 1, 2, go 4 right, so 1 will become 5, and then take 2 3 units up, so that will become 5 as well. So this is the answer, 5 comma 5 and 3 comma minus 1. Question 15, part A. The diagram shows the lines x plus y is equals to 8. So this is this line because its y-intercept is 8, which we can clearly see, and the line 2y is equals to x plus 4. The y-intercept for this line will be half x plus 2, 2. So this is this line. Okay. So first we needed to identify which line belongs to which equation. We've done that. Part A, shade the region on the diagram. The shaded region on the diagram is defined by 3 inequalities. Write down these 3 inequalities. So this is the first line. The shaded region is underneath it. So the inequality will be x plus y less than equal to 8. We will include the lines as well, because the question does not say the shaded region inside the diagram. It doesn't use the word inside, so we have to include the lines as well. So equals to sign will be written underneath the inequality sign. Alright, then let's talk about this line. The shaded region is above this line, so the inequality will be 2y greater than equal to x plus 4. Then we're left with this line. This line is the y-axis, which is called x is equals to 0. Now the shaded region is towards its right, so the inequality will be x is greater than equal to 0. These are the 3 inequalities for part A. Clearing the screen for part B. Another region R is defined by these 3 inequalities. X plus y is less than equal to 8. That means we again have to consider the region below this line, and 2y is less than equal to x plus 4 as well. That means we have to consider the region below this line as well. So we're considering, if we combine both these regions, we're considering this region. And we're also given a final line, y is greater than equal to a. Now this will be a horizontal line, because y is equals to 3 or y is equals to 8. That's a horizontal line, not a tilted line. Okay, so we have another horizontal line, and the condition, and it's somewhere over here, the horizontal line, and the condition we're given is that y is greater than equal to a, and where a is an integer, so it can be y is equals to 1 or y is equals to 2 or y is equals to 3. Let's see which one. The next condition we're given is that the region contains 5 points with integer coordinates. So if we consider, let's say y is equals to 1, then we have many integer coordinates here, 3 comma 0, 4 comma 0, 5 comma 0, sorry, that was 5 comma 1, 4 comma 1, 3 comma 1, 2 comma 1, and so on. We have multiple integer coordinates over here. So we need such a horizontal line which gives us only 5 integer points. So let's try the one closest to the remaining 2 lines. Let's try this one. So this is one integer coordinate, 4 comma 4. Then we have 2 comma 3 over here. Then we have 3 comma 3 over here, 4 comma 3 and 5 comma 3. So yes, this is the line y is equals to 3. Now if we shade this region, it has only 5 integer coordinates. So the answer was a is equals to 3. The answer is a is equals to 3. Question number 16. Write down the lower bound of the mass of sweets, 600 grams, correct to the nearest 10 grams. So first divide 10 by 2, we get 5 grams. To find the lower bound, subtract 5 from 600, so we get 595 grams. Part B, Anil sells the sweets in small portions. Each portion has a small mass of 25 grams, correct to the nearest gram. So this nearest gram means 1 gram. Divide that by 2, 0.5 grams. So we have 2 possible mass of this portion. It could be 25.5, which is the upper bound, and the lower bound will be 24.5. So let's see which one the question would require us to use. So Anil sells the sweets in small portion. Each portion has a mass of 25 grams, correct to the nearest gram. So the sweets can have any mass between this range. He sells 10 portions of the sweets. Calculate the lower bound of the mass of the remaining sweets. So let's assume this wasn't an upper bounded lower bound question. How would we find the mass of the remaining sweets? So mass of remaining sweets would be total mass minus mass of the sweets he sold. Mass of sweets he sold, and he sold that in 10 portions. Portions of 10. Keep that in mind. So now we need calculate the lower bound of the mass of the remaining sweets. So we need lower answer of this. For that means we need to choose a lower answer for this and an upper answer for this. So lower total mass was already calculated in part A, 595 minus portions of 10 and how much each upper bound portion weighs, that is 25.5. So we've used the upper value. So the final answer is, this is point, the final answer is 340. Alright, question number 17. We're given a couple of bearings. We have to find the bearing x. Given that the triangle ABC is isosceles, find 3 possible values of x. Alright, before getting into finding the 3 specific values of x, let's look at certain facts. If this is 60, then this will be 120, right? Because sum of interior angles is equals to 180. And this would be 70. Why? Because sum of all these 3 angles would be 360. So I got 120, I got 70. Next, this will be 10 degrees. Why? Because sum of these 2 interior angles will be 180. Alright, so I have these angles that are fixed in each of the 3 cases we need to find. So given that triangle ABC is isosceles, now they aren't telling us which 2 sides are equal. So first we'll consider this side is equals to this side, then we'll let's say consider this side is equals to this side, and then we'll consider this side is equals to this side. That's why we're getting 3 separate answers for x. So in the first part, let's consider AC is equals to AB. So when AC is equals to AB, then these 2 lines are equal. So that means this angle and this angle would be equal. So that would be 180 minus 70 divided by 2, which gives us 55 degrees. So both these angles will be 55. This will be 55 as well. So x would be 55 plus 10 plus x is equals to 360. 55 plus 10 plus x is equals to 360, and the first answer will be x is equals to 295. Let me rub everything else. So this answer will be 295. Alright, next let's assume that this side is equals to this side. So if AC is equals to CB, then this angle will be 70 as well if these 2 angles are equal, lengths are equal. So this will be 70. Then we can find x by adding 70, 10 and x, and the sum would be equals to 360. So x will be equals to 280. So the second answer is 280. Now the third case is when this length is equals to this length. For that, the angle 70 and this angle 70 will be the same. So I need this angle first. This will be 180 minus 70 which will give us 40. So if this angle is 40, then 40 plus 10 plus x is equals to 360, and the final answer for x is 310. Question number 18. So the diagram is the speed time graph for part of a journey. The retardation of the car between time is equals to 8 and time is equals to 12 is 4 meters per second. Find the value of v. So the retardation is actually the slope. So and the slope is rise over run. So the rise is v and run is 4, and the value of retardation is 4. So v is equals to 16. For part B, we have to find the total distance traveled by the car in 12 seconds. Total distance is the area under the graph, and this shape is a trapezium. So the area will be half into height, which is 16, into sum of parallel sides 8 plus 12. So the answer is 160. Question number 19. AB is the diameter of circles with center 0, center OP and PB are tangents to the circle A and B respectively. Prove that triangle PAO is congruent to triangle QBO. Give a reason for every statement you make. So to prove congruency, you have to prove either side is being applied, or side is being proved, or angle side, or RHS is being proved. So let's see which one will work here. We can tell that these two angles are equal. So we'll write angle AOP is equals to angle BOQ, and you have to also give a reason. So the reason is vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are equal, hence these two angles are equal. Next, I know that this is the radius and this is the radius as well. So this length and this length is equal. So we'll write AO is equals to OB, and both are the radius of the same circle. And next, I know that tangent and radius are perpendicular to each other. So angle PAO is equals to angle OBQ, and the reason is both of them are also 90, is equals to 90 degree, and the reason is because radius is perpendicular to the tangent. So hence the property side angle side is being applied. So hence these two triangles are congruent. Question 20, part A. Complete the tree diagram. So without even reading the question, if this is 8 by 10, then this has to be 2 by 10, because sum of a branch should be 1. And if this is 7 by 9, this will be 2 by 9. Now to find these two, I have to see what the question is all about. There are total 10 counters, and we've already taken out one white counter over here. So here the denominator will be 9 and 9, because the denominators will stay the same in a single branch, in a single column. Alright, so and we have 2 white balls and 8 blue balls. So here we've taken away 1 white ball, so we still have 8 blue balls and we have 1 white ball. So this is the tree diagram. Part B1, find as fraction the probability that both counters are blue. So you have to multiply these two numbers, 8 over 10 times 7 over 9, and the answer is 56 over 90. For part B2, we have to find the probability that one counter is blue and the other one is white. So if this is blue, then this is white, and if this is white, then this is blue. This is white, then the next one needs to be blue. So simply multiply these numbers and then add them together. 8 over 10 times 2 over 9 plus 2 over 10 times 8 over 9. So the answer is 32 over 90. Question 21, part A, express fx in terms of x. So 5, then plus 2 7, then plus 2 9, then plus 2 11, then plus 2 13. So this is a linear sequence. The formula for that is a plus b n minus 1. In this case, x minus 1, not n minus 1. So the first term is a is the first term, 5, d is the common difference, 2 times n minus 1. Simplify this, we get 2n plus 3, but we have to give the answer in terms of x, so 2x plus 3. Part 2, evaluate g of minus 1. So instead of x, write minus 2. Instead of x, write minus 2 over 2. This will give us 7. For part 2, you have to do a couple of steps to find inverse of gx. First, write y is equals to x minus 3x over 2. This, then make x the subject. So we get 2y is equals to x minus 3x. Then x will be 8 minus 2y over 3, and then the final answer will be 8 minus change y to x again over 3. This is the final answer. Question 22, part A. Complete the table with the population of Nigeria using the standard form correct to two significant figure. So 177,156,000 will get rounded up to 1.8 into 10 power 8, because we're moving the decimal 8 units to the left to land between 1 and 7. So this is the answer. Okay, for part B, complete the following statement. The population of Chad was dash times the population of Namibia. Simply divide these two numbers, 1.1 into 10 power 7 over 2.2 into 10 power 6. Do the math and you'll get 5 here. Okay. B, part C, estimate the population density of Sudan, and you're told that population density is the population over the given area, which is 1.86 into 10 power 6. Question says estimate, so we're allowed to make some logical changes to the question. So I'm changing 1.86 to 1.6. Why? Because now I can easily cancel this by 1 by 2, and then 2 by 1, and then 10 power 7 over 10 power 6 is simply 10. So the answer is 2 times 10, which is 20. Question number 23. Part A, complete the histogram. So this bar is missing and this bar is missing. Let's find out the values. We need the frequency density. Frequency density is frequency over class width. So 2.8 is the height of the bar over here. So 2.8. Then frequency density is frequency over class width, which gives us 0.6. So 0.6, roughly 3 boxes. That is the height over here. So this one. Alright, so next find the value of m. M is the frequency of this bar. It can be found by finding the area of this bar. So the height is 0.2 and the width is 60. So the value for m is simply 12. Part C, work out the fraction of students who took more than half an hour to travel to work. So these students take more than half an hour. So 18 plus 12, 30. Over count the total number of students, we'll get 150. Simplify and we'll get 1 over 5. Question 24, part A. The ratio of the area of the sector to the area of the circle is 8:1. Find the value of A. So we have the formula for area of the sector, theta over 360 times pi r square. Ratio area of circle, pi r square. Simplify, cancel, we'll get A over 40 ratio 1, which is actually equals to 8:1. So A over 40 is equals to 8. So A is equals to 320. Alright, clearing this for part B. In part B, find the Find an expression in terms of pi r for the perimeter of the sector. So the formula will be theta, which is now 320 over 360 times 2 pi r. This is the formula for length of arc. Then we'll have add the radius and the radius again, plus 3r plus 3r. Simplify, we'll get 16 over 3 pi r, 16 over 3 pi r plus 6r. Final answer. Question 25. Part 1, the n term of the sequence is this. Find the second term. For this, simply change n, substitute n with 2, and we get minus 6 over here. The pth term of the sequence is 150. Instead of n, write p, and the answer is 150. The value is 150. Rearrange this, we get a quadratic equation. Solve it by factorization. So we get p square minus 15p plus 10p is equals to 0. I'm writing the second last step, which is p plus 10, and p minus 15 is equals to 0. P can't be equals to 10 because it's the number of term. The pth term can't be minus 10, it has to be a positive number, so the answer is 15. Part B, the nth term of another sequence is this. The fifth term of the sequence is 55. Find the value of k. So the fifth term means instead of n, write 5 is equals to 55. Solve this to get the value of k, which comes out to be 4. 26, part A. Make p the formula of the subject of the formula, cross multiply, and we get tp minus 4t is equals to p plus 3. Bring both the p's to one side. So 3 plus 4t, take p common, t minus 1 is equals to 3 plus 4t. So the final answer is 3 plus 4t over t minus 1. If you get minus 3 minus 4t over 1 minus t, it's still the same. Part B, simplify fully. So the numerator becomes 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. The denominator has to be factorized first. So 2x square minus 9x minus 5. We're looking for two numbers. Once multiplied together should give us minus 10. And once added together should give us minus 9. So the numbers are minus 10 times 1 minus 10 plus 1 gives us minus 9. So 2x square minus 10x minus 10x minus x minus 5. X to x is common, x minus 5 plus 1 is common, x minus 5. So in the denominator we get x minus 5 and 2x plus 1, which cancel out, and we're left with 2x minus 1 over x minus 5.